Hi, hello, happy 2024. So the end of 2023 was a bit rough. I have a lot of trauma around those specific months, like that time of year. Oh, it's snowing. It's just like a little bit baby snowing, but it's snowing. We haven't had like a solid snowfall in Philly in 2 years, so since 2020. And then December, I had a really bad depressive episode in September. Mostly the like physical symptoms of depression. I have like chronic fatigue issues and that was acting up really bad. You know, I've been doing the like romanticizing mundanity, but I was starting to feel like a sim who had been left and was just like doing like busy work, I guess, like the busy work of life. It was a lot of just, okay, you know, laundry and dishes and oh my god, I have to feed myself again. So this video is just gonna be like the snippets of, I guess, the coolest stuff that I did, or the most interesting stuff that I did over those like 4 months, which I know is like kind of antithetical to wanting to do the romanticizing mundanity thing. But also, depression isn't a super, like, interesting, like, just a depressed bitch, like, sitting around their bedroom doing, like, nothing for 4 months. Not super interesting. And I'm doing good now. I hope you're having a great 2024 so far. I hope you're staying warm if you're in a place where January means cold. And I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you have a great day.
Not as horrible as I expected it to be.
Okay, goo review.
Okay, where's the goo?
Shots, I hate
Gotta
it.
find the goo without pouring your entire purse on the ground this time. We have a horribly organized purse. Not because of you, it's a poorly shaped purse. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, no.
Oh, there we go. The weird aftertaste.
Does it remind you of sweat at all?
A little bit, yeah.
Yes, okay, I'm not crazy.
It wasn't the texture. I was expecting it to be like liquid here.
Hot air balloons. Wow, that's pretty different. It's hair night in my apartment. I dyed my roommate's hair and they bleached mine. This is gonna look so whack when it goes out because I have like orange and the ends are pink and need to be trimmed real bad. And also probably got some bleach on them. So I'm gonna like rinse this out and then tomorrow I have to trim my ends and dye my roots. And not leave my house until I've done that because I will look ridiculous. This is what we have post bleach from last night. I have 2 oranges because I don't have enough. Neither of these has enough to do all of my hair, I don't think. Good Dye Young Toxicity and Lime Crime Cutie. This just fell off the wall. It was held up by two, you can see, there's the offender right there.
Back in October, I went to go see Merrily We Roll Along with my friend, and it was absolutely amazing. And I stage doored, and unfortunately nobody came out that day. And then I went back up like mid-November on a Tuesday, and they didn't come out. And the door person was like, yeah, you know, your best bet is gonna be a Saturday. So I am going back up to New York City. The world's best angle? No. I'm stuffing a little mushroom that I made as I'm learning how to knit. I'm gonna give him to my roommate probably. I was going to film like, you know, a reflection type thing yesterday, but while I was out and about Saturday night, you know, it fucking drops the H-bomb 4-hour plagiarism video, and so I was gonna fucking record, but I woke up at like 1 p.m. and watched the entire H-bomb instead, and honestly, great use of my time. No regrets. I got there, mostly no problem. Went up to, you know, visit the Bethesda Angel. I did some reading. I accidentally got caught in Rockefeller Center, and it was like the night that they were lighting the fucking tree up. So that was horrible to experience. You know, I went to go wait at the stage door, and then I befriended this one couple from Washington, D.C., and then this guy from Michigan. He was holding a spot for his wife, which I thought was really, really sweet. She was like inside seeing the show. There's something really special about stage doors that it's really hard to explain if you haven't experienced it. And that's like amplified if it's like an emotional show. So we're all waiting, and you know, the man's wife comes out, and she was so nice. And like, usually I'm not a fan of people like touching me who I don't know, but like she hugged me a couple of times, and it was like, this makes sense. This makes sense that we're hugging at the stage door for this deeply emotional musical. Saturday shows are at 8. And my bus home It was like a half-hour walk from the stage door and left at midnight. And I wanted to be there like 10 minutes early. So I'm like, okay, the absolute latest I can leave stage door is like 11:25. And, you know, the show ends at 10:45. And so I'm like also a little bit trapped, you know, and he's a big fucking celebrity. So there's like some more of a level of security. He comes out and like I didn't quite cry because I was dehydrated, but he was so nice. I was like, can you write "Someday Just Began, I want to get it as a tattoo"? He was like, oh, but my handwriting is a mess. And like as he's finishing, he's like, I could have done that better. I was like, no, that's the point. Anyways, he was so nice. And I was like, thank you for being a trans ally. And he was like, you know, of course, like it sucks that is a thing that has to be thanked, essentially. And I was like, especially because with, you know, everything. And he goes, yeah. And he really took his time with everybody. Yeah, it was good. And then I speed walked to my bus and I made it. And then I waited in line for 15 minutes for the bus to actually show up. And then I waited another probably 10 minutes for everybody to get on the bus. And then it took us 20 minutes to drive 4 blocks. And I made it home, and I thought I was going to miss the bus, like the SEPTA bus, to get from the bus stop to my apartment, and I didn't. I barely made it. But yeah, I just wanted to update. I've looked up to Daniel Radcliffe since I was a kid. Like, I'm 24. This man has been an important part of my life since I was 7. Like, that's a decade and a half. And the fact that he continually, you know, has proven himself to not suck. And also he's talented and, like, he can sing and he can act. I told him that his kid is going to be so cool. And he goes, I hope so. And, like, that's the funniest possible response. But, yeah. Someday Just Began.